Hey guys, how are you doing? Thank you for being here and welcome on the channel if you're new to PlayPauseBe. From our community, and if you're not already in the community, you can join our community on Facebook, PlayPauseBe, a yoga community. We are discussing and helping each other to grow. And one of the questions that were asked from you to us is, how can we find a yoga theme that creates sense for my practice? And I'm gonna be able to share with you how I do it. And I'm gonna give you all different ideas that I implement and how I structure my classes. So make sure to stay until the end so you catch all the little bits and pieces that I have to share with you. Ultimately, one thing that I love to do is focus on the outer environment. Meaning, I always look at where the moon is. And this is very personal. But depending if the moon is high, meaning there is the full moon are known to have much more energy. So this is something that I'm aware of. In the full moons, I can have a really dynamic class and a upbeat class, whereas on the new moon is, for example, more introspection, more calm, and I will go slower. And even if I were to do a vinyasa, I'll take the time to go into less intense poses for this particular flow on the new moon. More than this, if you tune into astrology, you will see as well that sometimes we have planetary alignments that create a sort of new dynamics that we are being receptive to on Earth. So we can use this. I know I use it. So that's something we can do. And depending also on which month we are in, which season you're in, this will bring something new as well. And where you are in the world. I know that, for example, when we work in autumn or spring, I like to cover classes around detoxifications because these are the period where it is more adaptable to work on purification, detoxifications, because it's just tuning into what is happening outside of us and allowing this to be reflected inside of us. This is something I do and I really enjoy it. Another thing that you can do is have one theme that makes sense for you. And actually it is so much better when you speak from experience than when you are just using someone quote or someone experience to develop your class. I like to reflect on my own experience and what has happened to me in order to create the themes. And ultimately what the reflection is allowing me to do is to gain some awareness, to gain some growth of what is happening to me. And this is what I'm bringing forth to my clients. And actually it brings me back to this one time where I had a really bad day and I had some problems to get to the studio where I was about to teach. And everything seemed to be going against me. Like the robots, the light was turning red at every time I would arrive. It was just a bit of a weird day and I was looking around and I was like, why? And I'm thinking that this is not happening to me, but it's happening for me. And from my experience and from how the day was happening to me, I was able to gain some perspective on why this is happening and ultimately understand that this is happening to serve me and not happening against me. And this was the theme of my yoga practice. I arrived in class and with the experience that I had just lived, I expressed this to my students. And I remembered that it was really, really appreciated because students even came after class and said to me, wow, that felt so good. This felt so present. And it's because I had just lived it. And ultimately I was operating from my own experience. So it is another vibration that we emit when we're talking about something we have lived, whereas talking about something that we understand. It's completely different. So use your experience because just like me, there's so much that is happening to you, for you. And therefore you can use this and understand, okay, what is this teaching me? And how can I use this to create learning that I can share around with my students as well? And lastly, something that you can use is in our deck, in the PlayPauseBe deck, we have created some different themes, different focus that you can use and bring the cards together and create a flow. And if you don't already have the deck, you can check out the link below and find out more about what the deck is about. But for example, I had feedback from the community with one lady that was telling us, yeah, this lady has some problems with her breathing capacity and so needed to work on the lungs. And she focused on the lung literal focus that we have on the cars, and we're able to create a sequence with it. And she said, and it felt so much better for her afterwards. So this is also something that you can work on, body parts, organs, and have the focus on these, and therefore create your sequence for this. It's abundant what we can get into, but most importantly, like I said before, feel into it, live it, and from there, what you're capable of expressing outward is so much greater than if you were just to learn it by heart or understand it. So give it a go. Use those little tips that I've just shared with you to have a broader opportunity to create some classes for your students and for yourself or for your friends and so forth. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this video was beneficial for you, and we super appreciate that the community is reaching out to us. The aim of the community is to grow together. So me growing with you, you growing with us, we're all part of the same team here. So feel free to reach out and say, hey, this is something that I'd like you to cover a little bit more. Or hey, this is something that you said, but I didn't understand it that much. What did you mean? So we can, both of us, carry on our growth and help each other grow. Because ultimately, we rise by lifting others. So this is the aim of the community. Thank you for being here. We hope that you appreciate it. And once again, feel free to reach out and let us know how this felt for you. My name is Ilo from PlayPauseBe, and I'm happy to have been with you today.